Florida International University Bridge Collapse: Ethical and Legal Analysis by Ahmed, Basil, Maryam, and Mohannad. The Florida Institute University Sweetwater Bridge was designed to allow pedestrians to bypass Southwest 8th Street, as well as to cross an adjacent canal parallel to the street. This is depicted in Figure 1. The construction of the bridge employed the Accelerated Bridge Construction Technique, better known as the ABC technique, to construct the bridge. The ABC technique involves constructing the main spans of the bridge off-site. The spans of the bridge are later lifted into place. Figure 2 shows an example of the bridge being constructed using the ABC technique. Cracks on the main span of the bridge were reported before the span was lifted into place. These cracks can be seen in Figures 3 and 4. The main ethical issue in this case was that the cracks were reported in the bridge span, although sufficient action was not taken out to address the cracks. This violates 72.2a, 72.2b, 72.2c, 77.12, 77.21, and 77.23 of the Professional Engineers Act. Cracks were reported in the bridge, although their significance were underplayed by the engineers involved in the case, such as Denny Pate, who insisted the structural integrity of the bridge was not affected by the cracks and that no repairs should be made to the cracks until post-tensioning was complete. These statements contradict opinions of most engineers in the field. In addition to this, provisions were not made to close the road while lifting the bridge span, despite the cracks. This would be considered negligence as the engineer failed to address the cracks. In addition, this constitutes a failure to make reasonable provisions for the safeguarding of life and failure to correct a situation that a practitioner believes may endanger the safety and welfare of the public. This also shows that the engineer did not act with fidelity to public needs. Regard the practitioner's duty to public welfare as paramount. The engineer also expressed publicly opinions on professional engineers matters not founded on adequate knowledge and honest conviction. Instead of ignoring the cracks, the engineers could have taken several different approaches. The engineers could have tried to repair the cracks on the main span if possible, or build the main span again. If their employers did not accept these options, the engineers could have resigned and consulted PEO to help them deal with the case. Finally, the engineers could have proceeded with plans, but at least shut traffic off to the road to mitigate risk. The best option would be to repair the span or to build the span again from scratch. Although fixing the cracks would not be very feasible from a technical standpoint, as some of the cracks ran very deep. Proceeding with the original plan but closing the road to traffic would not have been ideal since it still puts the lives of the workers at risk, although it would have significantly mitigated the risk. The engineers should have informed their bosses about the significance of the cracks and suggested rebuilding the span, as it is the best option in regards to safeguarding the public. In this case, we will be analyzing the obligations of the construction firms and their engineers to the public as well as to their employees under tort law. The plaintiff could be split into three groups: the families of the victims who died from the general public, victims who were injured from the general public, as well as the family of the employee who died. The defendants would be the two main construction firms, Munilla Construction Management as well as FIGG Bridge Engineers. One of the legal precedents that applies to this case would be Donahue v. Stevenson, as it establishes that generally businesses owe their consumers a duty of care even though they don't have a contractual relationship. Winnipeg Condos v. Bird Construction shows that construction companies owe a duty of care to the health and safety of the people whom their projects affect. The construction firm owes the public and its employees a degree of safety as their project will directly affect the safety of the public and their employees. The construction firm failed to provide safety to the public and its employees as it erected a bridge with clear signs of damage The plaintiffs incurred damages as their families lost their loved ones, and the others were physically injured as a result of the negligence of the construction firms. Therefore, tort law would apply. The construction companies will probably be held liable for general damages as well as consequential damages, as the families of the victims have lost their loved ones, which is irreplaceable, or in terms of the injured, they would have suffered great pain. Many of the families of the victims may have been dependent on their loved ones financially, and this could result in consequential damages. The injured will probably have medical bills, and their injuries may affect their employment, so this could also result in consequential damages. The court will most likely rule in favor of the victims and their families, and will likely award them with general damages as well as consequential damages. Thank you for watching.